Abacha, Gamuja, Nyamolich Clissene Lewis. Hello, Fort McDowell, Yavapai Nation. My name is Clissene Lewis, and I'm the Cultural Coordinator for the Culture Museum. I'd like to take the opportunity to share with you a little bit of history as we celebrate Voting Rights Day today, July 15th. It was 78 years ago, 1948, when we as a nation won voting rights for not just our nation, but for Indigenous people. This all began in 1928 through a case that was Porter versus Hall. Two Native people from the Gila River Indian community went to vote at the Pinal County, and they were denied the right to vote based on the reason that as Native people we were under the federal government, and being under the federal government meant that we were wards, so we were considered incompetent. So since we lost that case as a Native people, it was never brought up again until 20 years later. In 1948, when two courageous men from our own nation, our own tribal members, the late Frank Harrison, who was a World War II veteran, and Harry Austin, who was the tribal chairman at the time, they went to the Maricopa County to vote, to register rather, to vote, and they were denied. So they took it to court, and the courts said that we would still be denied the right to vote based on the first case of Porter versus Hall that set a precedence. So our late tribal members, Frank Harrison and Harry Austin, didn't stop there. They took it to the Arizona State Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the state of Arizona. There they spoke about the importance of Native people being allowed the right to vote. We also stood on the 1924 Citizenship Act that was passed under Calvin Coolidge. Most states at the time, I believe, allowed Native people the right to vote, but it was held back in the state of Arizona and New Mexico. Nonetheless, we went on to take our case, not only take our case, but it was also the NCAI who wrote an amicus curiae, which actually is just a Latin word that means writing a letter in support of a certain cause. And in this case, it was voting rights for these two men and for our nation. Also, the American Civil Liberties Union also did an amicus curiae on behalf of the nation. And in the end, it was a unanimous vote by the Arizona State Supreme Court to overturn the first case and now allowed Native American people the right to vote. So it was not only an historical day on this day, not just for our nation, but as I said earlier, for all of Indian country in the United States. So we have much to celebrate and much to be thankful to the Creator for our two own tribal members right here from Fort McDowell, who laid the groundwork, who had the courage to stand up and fight for this very important right to vote. Next Tuesday is the primary elections. I would like to take this time to encourage you to consider doing some research and looking at candidates, if you plan on voting in the primary election, to see what candidates support Indian causes. So again, on behalf of the Fort McDowell Culture Department, I would like to say thank you for your time and have a blessed day. Hanukkah.